I do believe that we are now live.
I
I've
think you're
got
live.
this. Yay! Can you see us?
I see you.
Yay! You see me and
I
you
see
see me
me.
again. Do you see you?
I see
You're
me.
way you're way cuter than me, so let's all see you. Okay.
My mother would agree with you.
Okay, so Deadly Tarantula Girl here on Google Hangout Live with Mr. Brian Kusko of many channels, probably the two most well known being Triple B TV and Brian Kusko. Um, but I just want to know why that is. Well, I should say, good evening, Brian. Thank you for giving up your Friday night for me. How are you?
No problem. I usually give up my Friday nights every Friday night, so you got lucky that you got to be one of the people I gave it up for, I
Oh,
guess.
very lucky, very lucky. So if you were not hanging out with me, what would you be up to tonight?
I would be about 10 feet that direction, wrangling little rugrats, and that's about it. That I'd be putting kids in headlocks, and that would be most of my evening, I think.
Pretty lucky kiddos. So,
Yeah, they're good. I like to spend a lot of time with them because especially at this age, all I hear from everybody who's had kids these ages is that it doesn't last and it's gone before you know it. And everybody's always wishing they could get back to these days. So I'm trying to take as much advantage of it as I can.
well, you're a very smart man. Uh-oh, did we?
No,
Oh,
I'm
I
still here.
lost. Okay, I thought I lost audio with you for a second. I'm dying to know why you have so many channels and what's up with that.
Well, I'll tell you. I'm gonna turn this fan off real quick. One second.
Sure. Oh, I guess.
Yeah, no, it's one thing I usually turn off. I forgot to turn off. It's over there buzzing.
Oh,
I started with one channel, as probably most people do, and then I started doing. And Triple BTV started off as mostly like snake hair. Well, the first couple videos were just me unboxing snakes and
mm-hmm.
talking about them. Then I started doing some care videos, and then it was sometime at the end of the first year I started doing interviews with people, and all reptile hobby related. And then I decided I wanted to start doing some vlog stuff, and at first I started doing it on Triple B TV as well. I just created
Mm-hmm.
a separate playlist for the vlog, but then people that didn't care about everything else I was doing, only wanted to see reptiles, were just getting inundated with stuff like one of my videos that I remember, how to cut a pineapple, which, was, which was fun. And it was good information. If you don't know how to properly cut a pineapple, it's some really
I
good
totally
information.
agree. It's
But
actually something I didn't know until later in life. So,
but yeah, so that made me realize maybe I should make a separate channel for stuff that's just like potentially whatever, and then I could put whatever I wanted on there, and it wouldn't matter because it's my channel. And it was a little iffy, it wasn't the smoothest transition from going from one channel to both channels, but that's what it is. And then the third channel is basically the Freedom Breeder channel, is what I produce. Jesse's the guy on there doing the informational stuff, but I'm producing, filming, and editing, and uploading and captioning it, doing it everything for those videos other than being in them for the most part.
awesome. And Jesse's amazing too. And thanks for hooking me up with him recently. He took care of me right away.
Good. Glad to hear it. Yeah, he's a funny cat.
So, I guess that leads me into my next question. How did you get so lucky to become like in so tight with the Johnsons? Because I mean, come on, they're kind of like a dynasty in, the exotic animal world.
It is kind of that, and Lindy starting the Freedom Breeder thing, and Jesse's kind of working on taking it over right now. So it is definitely becoming that. There were some of the first people I met when I first moved back from Hawaii. So I kept, just to give you a little back history on myself, I kept animals. I kept snakes as a kid. I got my first pet snake when I was like 4, and then
Mm.
kept them up until I was in my early 20s when I moved to Hawaii for a good 10, 12 years and played in a band and did stuff over there. And then we moved back to the States, decided to get back into keeping snakes again since you couldn't do it in Hawaii.
Right.
And I read Kevin McCurley's big old thick book like this with all the ball python morphs in it. And in there, I heard about the Freedom Breeder caging. And so through that book and then contacting them, eventually went to go buy a cage from them. And then Jeff, Jesse's brother, was working there at the time, and he said, we were going over this, that, shipping quotes and whatnot. He's like, oh, he saw where I was. He's like, maybe I could just have my dad drop it off to you on his way home from work and save you on shipping. I was like, yeah, that sounds like a great idea. I was like, yeah, let's save on that shipping. and that's the first time I met him. And then I just really appreciated that level of customer service, the personal touch that was there, and the fact that, he came and just met me on his way home from work, and wasn't expecting, I didn't know where they were located or anything like that. I wasn't expecting that. And then that just became that. And I'd go up there and see him from time to time and help him out with a couple of photos here and there. And eventually my buddy Garrett actually said, why don't you see if they'll sponsor you? Because you guys are like a perfect match. And so I proposed it to him, after a lot of thinking, because that's kind of a weird thing for me to propose on anybody. That, hey, I'm really cool. Why don't you just throw something at me and
yeah.
But they're easy to work. They're like family for me. They're like, Jesse's like a brother to me, and we get along really well. And when it's time to get down to work, it's tough to find out it's tough to differentiate when we're getting down to work and when we're playing. And so that's the way I like my life to be anyway. So that's how that works out.
That's the best kind of work for sure.
Yeah, it's what I've always tried, the kind of work I've always tried to do and I've always wanted to do. And I've always worked towards that goal. And I'm still working towards it. I feel like I've got a lot of things to learn, a lot of things to do still. But I'm having fun along the way, that's for sure.
So that kind of leads me into my next question, which was, at what point did you become a full-time creator? And what kinds of things did you do before this?
Last year, January, it's been a little over a year now that I've been doing the videos full-time. And so 1 year, and it's been fun. It's been awesome. I've really worked towards doing this for about 3 years before that. Basically almost the whole time since we moved back, I was working with my uncle doing construction stuff, which definitely helped out learning that trade because I was able to build the snake room based on the stuff I learned working with him for a couple of years.
Wow.
Before that, I was a professional musician, toured around and played music for about a decade, 12 years.
So you've kind of been an entrepreneur for a long time.
I haven't had a regular 9-to-5 since I was 22, I think, 22, 23.
Wow.
And I was lucky my boss at that time was like really cool, and we would go jam and play music at lunchtime, and we'd take a little extra time to do that because he was having fun with it. And then when he found out I had the potential to play in a band, or the opportunity to go play in a band and leave the normal 9-to-5 stuff, I was on the fence about it because I felt I had a really good job. It was a really good job, and had my apartment, had a girlfriend, and everything. And I was like pretty comfortable with what was happening. And then he heard about it. He's like, you know what, dude, you're fired. He's like, what do you mean you're thinking about it? You see, like you're done here. I was like,
awesome. Yeah. So what was the name of your band, and can people find any of that stuff anywhere?
Yeah, there's still music, and the two main guys that are still playing right now, and one of them Guidance, but Free Sound was a name we toured under for a long time. And yeah, you can find all the music on iTunes and stuff like that.
Free Sound, 2 words?
1 word.
Free Sound.
1 word. Yeah, you find it's like a blues, reggae, rock type stuff.
Awesome. So that actually leads me into my next question. Exactly.
Oh, am I doing this on purpose? You must have set this up really well.
This is totally scripted, by the way, people. Just kidding. Brian and I are just that in the zone.
It's the pencil in the head. It's got to be all that. It's the graphite.
Yeah, it's like, I'm like,
it's a chopstick. Never mind.
Yeah. Well, baby, got those Asian roots. Okay. So, I did not discover your channel until last year, and then you were just like all over the place. I'm like, who is this crazy kid? I love him. He's nuts. He's hanging out with Jesse from Freedom Breeder, and you have been all over the place. You obviously were very knowledgeable. You obviously were about my age, so not super old, if I do say so, which I've actually found out I think we're probably like exactly the same age. We have so much in common. But
were you born in August?
April of the same year. So
crazy.
Well, since I don't want to be going saying I'm old or anything.
No, I mean, it's just crazy that you know what year I was born.
Well, is that part of your email?
Oh yeah, I guess it is, isn't it?
You reveal so much. So were you born in California then?
I was born in Hayward, California, which is, for people that don't know, it's the East Bay. It's across the freeway from Oakland, basically.
So I was born in Napa, California. Same year.
Pretty
Two
close.
little two little mixed race Asian babies growing up on the West Coast, loving reptiles.
Yeah, yeah. I always tripped out being born and raised in California, just being there because of all the people, especially the Bay Area, because there's so many people that have been coming there over the past, for a long time. I guess since like 1849, really, when the gold rush
Right.
happened, people have been coming there and nonstop. And so it just always tripped me out to be from there, just to think about the fact that there's so many people trying to come to the place that I just happen to be born.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Yeah. It gets more busy. And every time I'd come back to visit from Hawaii, there would be like 2 or 3 extra stoplights in town. I was like,
and do you live in a pretty small town? How big is the city?
Yeah, now I live in a place. We're about 30,000 here in this town. It's not boondocks, but
right.
This is definitely I live in SLO County, San Luis Obispo County. Acronym is SLO, and it lives up to that acronym as well. And this town lives up to that acronym probably more than any other incorporated city within the county. So it's very much back to basics kind of thing. There's no sidewalks really through most of the town. All the roads go around the old ranch lands. And I go to town, like I'm standing in line at the post office or at the gas station or at the grocery store. And you always end up talking to the person next to you. I've literally never stood in line in this town and not ended up having a conversation with not only the person on the right of me, but likely the person on the left of me too in line. I really like that because it's an important part of a successful society for me, I think, is people be out and talking with each other in the flesh, in person, face to face, having those interactions.
Definitely. So I've been doing this Google Hangout Live thing for a little while, and for whatever reason, I on my monitor cannot see like the comments and stuff. So somebody just handed me a phone, and people are like, hello.
Oh,
so
I can't see them either. I was wondering that was my next question for you. Actually, was can we see the comments?
Well, I don't. Yeah, so I jumped on a phone. So I'm just gonna like throw some names out there because people like that. So Blue Devil, Shaggy Dude, David W, Richard Contreras, Extrovert Invert, Kevin Trappin. Oh, watching from Southern California. So all those other people are like, hey, hello, Edward Tyndall, that's awesome. Brian, Paul Taylor, what's up? So there's quite a few people. Mark Adams said, tell Brian I said hello.
I know that guy.
Oh, well, he says hello.
I know that guy. Mark's a great dude, man. He lets me stay at his house and picks me up from the airport when I'm in Chicago.
Oh, snap.
Yeah, he's a cool dude.
Oh, well, I'm planning to go to Tinley in the fall. So, Mark, do you have an extra bed for me? So I wanted to ask you, so like I said, so I've been kind of catching up on your videos since I just discovered you last year, and I've been enjoying watching some of your older content and some of your newer content and the evolution of your room. So it's interesting that you just said that you built it. Tell us a little bit about that if you don't mind.
Well, when we moved into this house, we're renting this house, by the way. And when we were first here to interview, we were the last people hanging out, and the owners really liked us, and we stayed later and had a little drink with them and kind of warmed up to them a little bit. So when we came back to do the official thing and sign papers and get keys, I was talking with the owner about this garage, which is what I'm in right now, is the garage.
Oh, okay.
He had these shelves up here for storage, and I was like, I'm thinking about taking these down because I'm gonna keep my snakes down here and whatnot. And he's like, what'd you think if I take the shelves down? And I promised to put them back whenever we move out. And he's like,
yeah.
He looked at it and thought about it. He's like, yeah, I guess that'd be okay. You could do that. I was like, okay. I was also thinking about putting up a wall here so that I could climate control this space. And he looked at that and thought a little harder at that one, but eventually turned and was like, yeah, I guess you could do that too. And I was like, all right, give me the keys and I'm signing right now. You're going to let me build a snake room in your garage? Give me the keys. So, and then I built it.
Wow.
It's pretty simple. I mean, I tore out all the drywall and the ceiling and because it wasn't insulated. So I had to insulate everything and re-drywall it, which if everything goes well in my life for the rest of my life, I will never have to mud drywall again because that it sucks. Anybody who does it professionally, they're maybe a little bit better at it. But if you ever try to do drywall and you're not necessarily a professional at it,
no, I suck at that stuff.
Very frustrating. Very frustrating. But I did make it happen, and it is here. All the electricity, and there's of course things I would do differently next time. But
well, you even have a sink. So did you plumb that yourself?
I did.
Wow.
I like to know how to do things. I'm constantly, whenever I get into doing anything, I like to learn as much as I can about it, and you know, and do that.
You are a smart dude. I can tell you. I can tell that, and that's, I think, I don't know, something else we have
Yeah,
in
it's
common.
relative. I think that sure, I'm smart. I'll never
So,
admit to it.
and humble as well.
Oh yeah, super humble. Super
Yeah.
humble.
So, I'm a teacher, so I like to ask people about their formal education.
Basically, I mean, I've got a none. No, I graduated high school.
Mm-hmm.
I went to a music college after high school,
Oh,
and didn't
cool.
graduate that, but did meet a band that I played with professionally for a decade. So I'd say even though
Well,
I didn't,
then I would consider that success.
I thought so
Um,
too. I didn't get the little piece of paper, but I did play in a band professionally. So I thought that that was a win there.
well, being a college graduate multiple times, that's a lot further than a lot of graduates get. So kudos to
Yeah,
you.
I've noticed that. I've noticed that, and school honestly, school didn't work for me. Like, school was horrible for me, as far as how effective it was on making my life better and more successful. Everything that I've attributed, with the exception of you learn some stuff in school. It's important, I think, but for me,
Mm-hmm.
it didn't really work out that well.
Well, I happen to believe that there are all different types of learning and all different types of learners, and that traditional education in our culture is, I could get in big trouble for saying this,
Well,
essentially,
we're a little behind as
yeah,
far as the
oh,
world goes. Yeah.
certainly. It's been proven that project-based style learning, hands-on learning, basically doing is, theoretical learning, sitting at a desk and reading something about something in a book, it doesn't make sense. We're a mechanical animal. Experiencing something, doing something, connecting it to other knowledge that we already have, that's genuine and authentic learning. And so I'm glad that things are changing, but at a snail's pace. And so I find you highly educated. Obviously, you are very, very well versed and knowledgeable in animal care, and you're an extremely accomplished musician. So that's awesome. That's really awesome. There might be
Thanks.
other people that have more degrees hanging on their walls, but like I said, I know plenty of college graduates who are either number one, not rocket scientists, or number two, unemployed or not working in the field that they want to be working in, or, who knows what else.
Yeah, that can happen. And it happens a lot, I think.
So I just jumped back on the phone. There's lots of people complimenting your room, saying that you're awesome. Let's see. TJ's Fish and Reptiles wants to know that your room wants to tell you your room looks really great.
Nice, TJ.
Um,
I still haven't painted one of the walls. I'm gonna get to that one of these days. Or maybe
so,
when it warms up.
what are you going to do? Green too, or something
Yeah,
else?
yeah, no, definitely green. The whole room's gonna be green, like
I
this, like
love
that.
I love that color of blue. We actually chose a really light sky blue for our walls. That way, when stuff that was arboreal got away and climbed, hopefully we'd see it.
Yeah, it's not a bad reason.
Yeah, but I really like the color that you chose.
Thanks. You
Awesome.
too.
So here's a question for all the ladies out there that follow you. What do you do to stay so pretty?
Well, it's from this is to the lady. I'm asking my female audience what they do today to stay so pretty.
No,
Is
no,
that
no,
what's happening?
no. The ladies want to
I
know
apologize.
what you
I apologize.
do.
I apologize. I was using your words exactly. I don't know how to respond to that. I don't do anything. That's the thing that sucks about that. I guess today is actually
Uh-huh. Yeah,
International Women's Day.
yeah. It
International Women's Day.
is.
So I made a little Instagram story earlier today, just thanking all the ladies for being ladies, so that I didn't have to be.
Aw. Well, there we go. Now, I specifically wanted to ask you when and why you started to grow your hair out, and if you would tell us a little bit about your tattoos.
The hair is it's a music thing. It's banned
Oh,
Hawaii,
gotcha.
banned in Hawaii. I mean, just living in Hawaii, sometimes the hair thing just happens, and then playing in a band is just like extra, reason to not cut your
Yeah.
hair. A lot of the reason people cut their hair is because the job requires it. No, one of the reasons.
Right.
But
Right.
I've considered cutting it. Every time I try to like sit up in bed and I'm laying on it and I can't move my neck, I just want
Oh
to like
yeah,
grab
been there,
just like.
been there.
I mean, I've bicked my head. I've taken the razor, just shaved it, bicked
Never
like
done
that.
that.
That was I liked that. That was kind of cool. Yeah, no. The funny thing you say though, it's the lighting. It's good lighting. That's what it really is. I've practiced and worked on lighting a lot, so I know how to make lighting somewhat flattering. I've gotten better at it over the years, and that's what I attribute it all to.
Awesome.
And good diet. Good diet doesn't hurt.
I've noticed that a lot of times when you're, in the morning, you're having like tea or we're drinking some kind of weird like orange milk or something.
That might have been one of the golden milks. It's like a
Golden
turmeric.
milk. What is that?
It's like turmeric and almond milk or whatever kind of milk you want to use.
What does it taste like?
Anti-inflammatory. Well, it depends on what turmeric can be pretty bitter, but if you mix in some sweetener stuff with it, then it's really good. I've experimented a lot with different things that I eat, and I'm still experimenting right now with eating different things and trying out new stuff. I do like to explore as many things as possible. When you said going back to something you said about me being an experienced animal keeper, I've kept animals for a long time, but I would say that there's a greater majority of people that I know that know more about animals than me than not. I think I still consider myself a noob, even though I've kept for a long time. It's not like I was researching intensely that whole time or going into different surgeries and stuff. It was more of like a spiritual thing for me to have animals and like share their presence, rather than a book learning type of thing for me.
That's interesting that you say that, because I was wondering, you spent a lot of time with basically some of the greats. I mean, Brian Barczyk and Lindy Johnson, and you've interviewed some amazing people. And I was wondering if people ever kind of snub their nose at you because you've not been, knee deep in ball pythons for 30 years or, whatever, quite don't quite have the status that some of these other guys do.
No, I've never experienced that. At least not that I know of. If somebody's snubbing me, they're not doing it where I'm hearing or seeing about it. Yeah, but Dave Barker was one of the people I recently got to meet at that.
Oh
show.
My God, he and Tracy are amazing.
Yeah, that was really cool to get to sit there and listen to him. We were asking him questions, and the other awesome thing was I had my buddy Forrest standing next to me asking him questions, and Forrest is one of the guys that I consider to be know a lot about all kinds of different species. So to have him there, be one of the guys asking Dave these questions, and I get to sit there and listen to the answers, was really cool. We literally sat there for like 3.5 hours and just stood in a little circle, and that I did that until I had to leave because I had to catch my flight.
Right. No, if you could have hung out with one person, I'm glad I got to see you. It was like Fast and Furious, but if you could have spent the day with one person, like Dave and Tracy, definitely like top of my bucket list. I have a funny story about them, but I'll tell it another time. Wow,
I believe
awesome.
they're coming. So Philippe de Vaugelas is putting on the event here in California.
Yes.
In the second weekend of June. And there's going to be people from all over the world, people that know way more about, again, more of the people that know way more about animals than me will be there speaking. And I believe Dave is coming too. So I'm hoping to get an interview with him at that time. We talked about doing so. So I'm hoping it'll come to fruition.
Awesome.
He doesn't really like to do a lot of video. It doesn't seem, or Tracy doesn't like him to do a lot of video. Or any.
They are so neat. Have you read The Invisible Arc? That's one of their. I haven't
read it yet. No, I haven't. I've got several of his Python books that I've read, but I haven't read The Invisible Arc yet. But I need to. You have to. He comes. Yeah.
I'll send you a copy. It's.
Oh, thanks.
Like it's a short, easy read, and oh my gosh, like all these things that we think about why it's important to keep the animals. They like freaking define it, package it, put a label on it, and just it's so good. They are amazing. I mean I've authored small things, but I respect them.
When it comes to reading material, there's a nice thing I've been reading. It's by a guy, Scott Borden. His name is New York Herps or something like that. But he's been writing a blog, and they're usually like 5 to 7 minute little reads, just kind of his thoughts on different subjects. But they've been good reads. I've been enjoying reading them.
I'm gonna check that out.
I was just reading a couple before we started here, actually. One on like the I can never say
Anthropomorphism.
Anthropomorphism of animals, and another one on the subject that you don't need to breed animals to keep them. That was another one of the subjects that I was reading about.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I mean,
it's cool.
People forget about that, I think.
Yeah, that was his point, I think.
Cool. So he has a blog, you said?
Yeah, it's online. Like a written blog.
Cool.
Pretty good stuff.
Yeah, I'm a big reader, obviously, because I'm an educator. But
my parents, well, not my dad. My dad worked at the school district. My mom was a teacher. She just retired last year, actually. And my wife's parents are both teachers too, right now, still. So
really,
a lot of teachers in the family. Yeah, my grandmother was a teacher as well. So
wow. Did they have issues with you deciding to kind of go an unconventional route, like being in a band and all that?
No, playing in the band, not so much. They're definitely supportive of the music. But at the time I was in school and supposed to be going to school and maybe wasn't always going, yeah, they had an issue with that.
I can see that.
Yeah, there's definitely an issue there.
Speaking of that beautiful lady of yours, tell me a little bit about Hillary. And obviously the boys are like super excited about the channel. They're so awesome. I love that you have them on there all the time. Your little girl, I don't see much because, she's not like running into the frame all the time yet. I'm sure that's going to happen soon. How old is she, by the way?
She's 11 months. And running in the frame is something that's going to be happening on this coming Monday's video, actually.
Oh, I can't wait. I don't even know her name.
It's because I tend to make up nicknames for everybody in my life that I care about, and nobody ever gets their real name spoken out of my mouth for the most part. It's like my wife, I call her Beans, which was a progression of all kinds of nicknames that led into Beans. Like there's an evolution of nicknames that eventually grow into, and right now the baby girl, I call her Tabo, which if you tried to draw the correlation between what her actual name is and Tabo, you're like,
it's like a game of telephone.
Exactly. It's a game of telephone with myself. That's exactly what it is. But her name is Leia Moon. One thing I've inherited from my father is the ability to just jump around a question and answer everything and say all of these little answers that didn't actually answer your question. So I wanted to make sure I came back there and told you her name is Leia Moon.
How do you spell that?
Lei Okina, which is like an apostrophe A. And then her middle name is actually Moon.
Oh, that's beautiful. So I have a little surprise for you. I may as well drop it on you right now. And I don't know if this is going to make any difference to you, but I recently brought home 3 beautiful ball pythons from Lone Star Reptiles. One was gifted to me, which was amazing because it's a rare gene. And then it was 2 others that I just couldn't live without. And they're special. I've made a decision recently to name all of my reptiles, which is a lot. And I'm going to draw the line though at inverts, because that, like, when you have like a 1,501 egg sac, it's just not feasible. I just can't. I can't make that many name tags. So my 3 new snakes I decided are going to be Noah and Eli. And then I was like, what's his little girl's name? I don't even know. So
they'll be stoked. They'll be stoked to know that you did that. I'll tell them.
So I'll do a little video about that, and I'll send that to you.
That's awesome.
Okay, I'm back on the phone again. John Feely's on, he's an awesome dude. He has a channel that he's trying to get off the ground called Feely's Clutch.
I've seen that guy somewhere before.
Yeah, and so he's been like my backup tech support, and John, there were some tears and frustration, but I did not need you tonight. I did have someone else here helping me, but yeah, we got it sorted out. And so I want to thank John Feely for, oh my gosh, like watching me pull my hair out, and then I'm like, hi, we're live, and blah, 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 like an hour late. So thanks so much to John. Silly Snakes is on, Redstrom Reptiles, Mark Adams, John Feely's smiling, facing it up, Bob Biker's on. So people are digging the conversation.
Mark, you don't have a nickname yet, bro, because we haven't spent enough time together in the physical space. It takes a lot of.
Oh.
Mark just commented. He said he doesn't have a nickname yet, so he doesn't. It's Mark.
That's funny. So, I was wondering, so you are creating full time now, which, so, I mean, that's essentially your job. Before that, and even now, how does Hillary feel about number one, um, basically the time that you and your family sacrifice for you to do what you do? And also, I love and respect and admire just how open you are. Like, we get to see your whole family, your house, like, just like little, I don't know, like, you got like poison oak or poison ivy one time and
Yeah,
like
that
took us
sucked.
to the pharmacy with you to like go get butt cream or something.
It was on my arm. It wasn't on my.
Well, whatever. Anti-itch butt cream can work on your arm. Anyway, I do have like walking pneumonia, so I am going to be. I'm trying not to cough, but I might cough.
I
So
I've definitely gotten comments sometimes like, how, why did you share that? Like, I can't watch the channel anymore because you shared too much. It's like,
no, I never
I'm
think
sorry.
that. I just think no. I'm teasing you about the butt cream. That was not TMI at all. That was like I was like, oh my god, yeah, living in California, watching you and your family and all that. It really takes me back to being home. But so what my question is it ever difficult for you guys as a couple to kind of, in a way, um, kind of sacrifice some of your privacy and a lot of your time, obviously, which now that it's your job, I can see that it might be a little bit easier, but I don't know. Maybe it's harder now because you're doing it more. I'm not sure. Tell me about that.
No, I wouldn't say it's hard because it's not like we've got a camera crew here filming us all the time or something like that, like one of those
Mm-hmm.
reality shows. You know, it's not like I'll take I'll take what time we have available. Bless you, or excuse you. Um, I'll take whatever time we have available, you know, to make videos. Like the video that's coming out on Monday, you know, my buddy Brandon stopped by and we did a video, and it didn't take all day. You know, I fit everything in. I've balanced things out to where they need to be. There are opportunities to come. The traveling is the hardest part for
Right.
us as a family because Hillary works as well. And when it's time for me to go somewhere, especially on the weekend, we need to find somebody to help take care of the kids, and we don't like to just
Right.
give our kids to anybody. So usually one of either my parents or her parents will come to town for that.
Wow. It's awesome.
So the traveling is the hardest part of it, I'd say, if it comes to. And we're talking about that right now. There's been an opportunity to do some stuff and do some traveling out of the country and do some filming coming up here.
Mm.
And running that, you know, of course, I run everything by her that comes to that. But and she's very supportive. She's very supportive of everything I want to do. But he also helps me stay grounded and remember that I do have little kids here, that I can't just go off and you know, do crazy things in different countries for months at a time. Which is good for me because as soon as I'm gone, it all sounds fun and I love being out there doing stuff. But it's only a couple of days I'm gone where I'm like, dang it, I want to go home. I miss the kids.
No, I'm that way too. I'm a real homebody that I love going and doing stuff. But then by like day 2, I'm like, oh, I want my bed. I want my dog. I want to be home.
It's mostly the kids. I spent most of my life on the road, but it's mostly, if it weren't for the kids and Hillary too, but mostly the kids. Then I could be out there for months at a time, no problem, easy.
Yeah.
I mean, I did that for a living for 10 years. Touring with a band, you spend months on the road at a time.
Right.
I grew very used to that. When I jump on the road, like I just got back last night from being, you know, up at Freedom Breeders for a couple of days. And the second that the tires hit the road and I'm going down the highway, I do feel at home in that moment.
That's awesome. So, I am dying to know a little bit about what it was like to go to freaking Komodo with Brian. And Brian's amazing and I love him. But what was it like? Just wow.
That was a great trip. That was definitely a trip of a lifetime. And looking to do some more stuff like that going forward here. That was, yeah. I mean, to sum it up in one word is just amazing. It was a blast.
Well,
I can't wait to do it again.
I admire you for so much, but I mean, I think about going full time, and I'm just really, really committed to my profession. And you know, being a YouTube creator, if you're doing an educational channel, which you and I both do, it is still education. And it's actually education on a way broader scale than just teaching 30 kids in a classroom. But I do love it. I do have a heart for it. I would miss it so much. I've taught high school, middle school, and now elementary. And there's awesome things about it all. And I really did not want to go to elementary, but I've had so much fun. And of course, I would never leave my kids in the middle of the school year. Don't freak out, kids. Some of them watch. Don't freak out. I'm not going anywhere. They actually want me to go to the next grade with them, which I don't know.
We don't exactly have a surplus of really good teachers in this. There are a lot of good teachers in this country. Don't get me wrong, but we don't have a surplus. So
yeah, that's true.
I think we need as many teachers that actually enjoy their job in place that we can have.
Yeah. And, I don't love the politics of it. That's for sure.
Politics of anything can be off-putting, I think.
Right. But, yeah, I don't know. Just, I know it's not easy for you to travel, but when I do, it's after 5 on Friday and before 5 a.m. on Monday. And it's rough sometimes. It's really rough. Oh, and summers. Luckily, summers,
Yeah, summers are nice for teachers.
Definitely. I'm not going to lie that's a perk that, as someone who likes to go field hunting and stuff like that, it was a huge motivation for me. And I've gone to school or taught most summers always. And last May, I finally finished my master's degree. Thank you. So I've made a decision if I'm going to do these lives that I'm going to allow myself snacks during, because I'm not a big snacker. So pardon my popcorn eating.
Go ahead. I stopped eating today already, so I'm done eating. I eat usually between 2 and 6 o'clock of the day, and that's
Are you doing
intermittent fasting?
Cool. How long have you been doing that?
Quite a while now, actually. I first did it. I mean, I've done all kinds of different stuff like that, trying to eat different ways to see how it affects my body. And I did this weight loss challenge with Miguel a little while back, and so I got back into it there, doing the intermittent part of it. And basically since then, for the most part, I have not 100% strict from that time, which was last summer, but this whole year I have been again.
Oh,
it just gives me more energy. The science behind it is your body is breaking down food. It's taking energy to do that. And if you give it a break to not have to do that, you can put energy into other things that need to happen, like the different autophagy things that happen in your body, the renewing of cells. And I have way more energy. If I eat breakfast, it ruins it. I go, and then lunch, and then breakfast, and then lunch too is by 2 o'clock, I'm just like, I need to take a nap.
Right.
Whereas now, when 2 o'clock comes around, I'm like amped, and I've been going since I got up at 5 this morning, and I have not been tired all day.
That's awesome. Yeah, I've read about that, and I almost do that, but certainly not religiously. And my husband's diabetic. He's a type 1 diabetic. He's just suddenly became diabetic at the age of 10. And so I have to feed him. He's a big man too. Well, I don't know. He wasn't standing next to me when we saw each other in Arlington, but he's a big guy, a big buff, 320-pound dude, tall, shoulders like this. And someone who hated us and was hating on our channel kept calling him a gorilla, and I'm like, pretty cool. If you're going to be compared to an animal, my husband's a gorilla. That's cool.
Somebody said something to me yesterday about Mike Tyson was trying to pay somebody to let him fight a silverback gorilla. That just reminded me of it. That would be intense.
There we go. That's a compliment, right?
That would be intense. I couldn't imagine trying to fight a gorilla, even as Mike Tyson.
No way.
Yeah, they're so strong. I mean, even chimpanzees are so much stronger than us when they're adults.
Break a man in half.
Yeah, that would be. I don't know. I don't remember who told me that or why or when. But
wow! Don't do it, Mike. Don't do it, Mike. That gorilla will snap you in half. Because he's watching, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, I digress. Oh, so we have to eat late at night. A lot of times we work till 11, 12, 1, and then he'll need food, or else he will his blood sugar will just drop, like plummet during the night. Wake up at 3 o'clock and he's barely breathing. So then he'll be like, eat with me. And usually I don't, but sometimes I do.
Yeah, blood sugar can work against you a lot of times. That's true.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually not just doing intermittent fasting. I don't know. We don't necessarily have a subject here. I guess we're just talking about whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
So, I've been doing the ketosis thing, the ketogenic diet for a little while now, and that's been incredible. I've been doing lots of research on it. I've been listening to all kinds of different, the fors, the against, and opinions and perspectives from neuroscientists and athletes and fighters and doctors and all these different people that have opinions on it and what they think about it and the science of it. And it's been pretty incredible so far. I don't think I could. It's not kicking in full effect yet. I'm not fully in it. But from what I understand, some of the benefits that are going to be coming are something to be looked forward to. Like one of them not having spikes in blood sugar, where you have sugar crashes and stuff like that.
Right.
Happening.
Well, I've seen a couple people fail pretty epically at that. So I'd be interested in see how it works for you. Not to like suggest you would fail, because.
Oh yeah, no, I don't see any. I've set myself up in a way that I've got some. It's a goal oriented thing, and I've set up some rewards for myself if I hit the goals that I want to hit. So that's gonna. And then plus the way I'm feeling, like I don't want to go back. And I just found this ice cream that is it's a keto ice cream. It's high fat, no sugar.
Really?
And it actually tastes like ice cream, man.
What is it? What is it?
It's called Rebel Creamery is the name of the company that makes it. And
so anytime you see the top of my hair, I'm writing. So
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty amazing stuff. Pretty amazing stuff.
Rebel
Creamery. Yeah.
Rebel.
I'd recommend the peanut butter fudge flavor.
Peanut butter. Oh, I'm so writing that down.
Comments.
Somebody give me a phone, please.
Okay.
Oh, it's in front of me. Can you see any comments?
I'm gonna restart it because they paused.
Okay, let's see. Mark Adams. Oh, okay, I see that now. Name tags are awesome.
Well, either
people kind of
paused or nobody's been commenting since 13 minutes ago.
Surely not. Oh, John Feely wants to know what your nickname for him is. That's fine.
I don't have one.
Not yet. So you better have a nickname for me someday, at least. Well,
it's going to depend on how much time. Like, I'm trying to think of what level it takes to how long you actually have to spend before you get a nickname.
Probably depends on how interesting or boring somebody is.
Yeah, you'd have to make me really comfortable too. And that's a big part of it as well. I think I have to be super comfortable with calling you whatever the hell I feel like calling you.
Interesting. So I would like to know what your kryptonite is. Is there any animal that you've totally failed at, or I don't know?
Kryptonite?
Yes.
There's a lot of animals I haven't failed in what way? What do you mean?
Like, I don't know. You just never, like, you tried for 10 years to breed them and it didn't work, or you had a couple and they failed to thrive, or whatever. Something that you've wanted to do and not been successful with for any reason, if there's anything.
I haven't been breeding very long, relatively. So this is only my third. Is it third or maybe my fourth? Fourth. I have not been breeding very long, so okay. I haven't really. Some of the animals that I'm thinking of breeding at some point I'm still growing them up because I grow everything up from babies.
Awesome.
Breed. Actually, some of Garrett Hartle's retics that I have here from Reach Out Reptiles, I'm trying to get them to breed this season. Not a lock. Not a single lock. So, yeah, big fail here so far.
How big are they?
They're big. They're, the female pied over there is probably 13, 14 feet maybe.
And him?
He's a proven breeder. But not for me. How big is the male retic?
Yeah.
10 foot.
Is he fat?
No, he's not fat. He was in fact he was underfed when Garrett got him, and then he got him back to health. And no, definitely not fat. I just have.
Do you have multiple males?
Only one breeder. Only one breeder male. There are multiple males in the room, but they're not breeders. They're just hanging out.
Well, what you can do if you know somebody with another mature male, get the shed from that other male, put it in with your female, just leave it in there.
Yeah.
Then the next time your male goes in there,
I've used that.
It didn't work?
I mean, I don't know what's going on, honestly. Garrett has lots of experience breeding retics, and he's been giving me pointers every step of the way, because they're his snakes. So he wants to see clutches out of them too. So I've been listening to everything he tells me to do, and nothing yet. But maybe something has happened when I wasn't looking. I don't know. That's
so
fine.
has he given you any other tips? Because I'm not super experienced. I mean, with retics,
dropping the temperatures down, the food cycling, even once cycling the male through the different females, and even taking them out for a little journey, a little jolt to get some lower temperatures and a little change of scenery together in a tub.
I've heard that for berms too.
Yeah, so, but I haven't seen anything from him yet. So I'm not
cool.
I'm only worried about it because they're Garrett snakes, and I want to be able to produce a clutch with his snakes for him here. And if they were my snakes, I wouldn't care, because I'm actually not planning. I may produce a clutch of retics of my own one day, but I'm in zero rush too.
That's awesome. So what would you say is your bucket list animal that you'd love to work with, but you haven't ever been able to yet?
Just got it a couple months ago.
Wow.
At the Pomona show. Indigo snakes. I've wanted them for years.
I'm so jealous.
I finally got them. And that was one of the reasons I held back from getting them, was I was kind of trying to figure out whether I wanted to get the red throat or the black, or even maybe a Crebo. So I was on the fence with that for a while, but then also on the fence because I knew once I got them, then it's like, I've been calling them my dream snake for a long time, and it's like, now I have them. So.
Oops. Well, I would say that it could still be your dream snake. That's so awesome. I know. When you told me you had those, I was like, what the heck? Are you kidding me? Blue indigos?
Cool. They're like little dragons. They're like little, remind me of the dragon from like How to Train Your Dragon. And just the they're super different. Like when I go to feed them, they make a lot of noise. They'll come up like sniffing, like just come and checking stuff out. They're super fast and so curious. And then they'll chill with you too. Like I'll hold them and we'll just be sitting there, watching a show or whatever, and they'll cruise around for a bit, but then they'll just rest their head on the palm of my hand and just kind of sit there with me and hang out. And, really, really intelligent seeming snakes, when compared to, I don't know, most other snakes.
That's awesome. So, what would you say? So I know that your dad has a snake or some snakes. Did he kind of get you into reptiles?
He's got a Tarahumara mountain king snake.
Ooh, nice.
That he actually got. That was our first, my first time going to a reptile show. Went with my dad, and he got that snake there. And I got my clown pied female that I've got here. And yeah, he in a way, he definitely had a part getting me into snakes. I was really interested in dinosaurs when I was a kid, like I think a lot of us are.
Right.
And this California king snake was crawling through our backyard in Hayward, and I went and got him, and he came out and identified it as a California king snake, and we went and he picked it up, and it turned out to be the neighbor's pet snake that had gotten.
That's funny.
And he allowed me to get a pet snake. So yeah, he definitely had a part of it. And obviously he's interested in them too, because he has one. He wouldn't keep one if he wasn't.
Awesome.
I've been pretty fortunate to have a very, very supportive family in whatever I do. If I'm interested in something, then they pretty much back me on it for the most part.
Your family seems pretty amazing.
They are. I'm very blessed with a very wonderful family. I never take that for granted. You try not to, at least. Every now and then you take something for granted, but that's the one thing I try to always remind myself, that there are lots of people out there that aren't as fortunate to have such a nice family like that.
Right. So here's a question. Since you're the first, I think, full-time creator that I've interviewed, I did interview Justin Kobelka first, but to me, his primary income's probably obviously from his business. Yeah. And so kind of doing YouTube is sort of probably like a side deal. I would imagine that's how he considers it. I don't know. But
well, he's got a degree in marketing. and he does a very good job at using that degree, I think.
Definitely does. Definitely does. He's a really cool guy. It was funny when I was standing next to him. It was like,
Yeah, I did the
test
first
it.
time. He was one of my first interviews on Triple B TV. The first time I went to Tinley, and I did the same thing. Like when I stood next to him, I was like, "Wait a minute, I gotta go back and point the camera way up."
We're like standing next to each other, like with my forehead in the frame and like his chin. I was like, "You're so tall." He was like, "I know." He was like, "Uh-huh."
His whole family is
Crazy. So what are your future aspirations for your, I don't know, business and life, I guess?
keep growing, keep making more videos and better videos, and I feel like I'm just kind of getting tapped in with the video creation. I've been doing it for a few years now, and I just want to take it to the next level if I can. Maybe like do a documentary style thing, and just explore every possible avenue with video stuff, because it's a great creative outlet for me. And yeah, the snake side of things. Originally, when I first started the YouTube channel, I knew it was part of it was going to be for just putting myself out there a bit, so that because I knew I was going to start trying to breed some snakes a few years down the road, a couple, 2.5, 3 years down the road. And so I figured I better start getting something out there so that I can, that somebody knows when it does come time to produce babies and sell snakes, that people know who I am. It's not just some random guy in a corner somewhere that has snakes for sale.
I like how you make yourself sound like a total sociopath if you don't have a YouTube channel. I got you though.
Yeah, and I don't think that I'll ever produce snakes as anything other than a hobby. There was one point when I was thinking to do it as a business, not long ago, last year actually. Or sorry, not last year, but 2017. I was doing some business planning and drawing up some financial projections and whatnot, and looking at potential business loans for the snake breeding side of things. But then when working with Freedom Breeder came into play, and I'm very fortunate. I feel very lucky that I don't really want to. I don't think I want to produce animals as a business. It's just I don't know. I don't think I could do it.
Yeah. You certainly have to sacrifice, I don't know. I don't want to say some of what you love because you still get to work with the animals every day, but
when you're selling the animals, it's tough. It can be tough.
Is.
I mean, even like this one I produce, I really want to keep her, but to cover all the expenses of keeping the other snakes, it definitely just makes sense to sell her. But the fortunate thing is that I usually, I know where my animals go.
That is good.
This particular animal I'm talking about, I'm going to be able to go and see this animal whenever I want.
That's definitely nice.
Yeah. And that's a big part of it for me, is finding the right home. It sounds cliched. It probably sounds like bullshit too.
No.
I want to make sure my animals go to good homes, but I do. I don't want them just going wherever. I want to know who's getting my animals and what their plans are with them. I've turned people down on sales because they didn't want to go to the hub to pick up the animal, and that's one of my requirements. Is that unless you have a really good reason for not going to the hub, like my buddy Chris knows his FedEx person personally, and it's actually faster for them to come him rather than wait for him to be able to go to the hub. Right. That's an exception, but people, again, somebody didn't want to go to the hub to pick up, just wanted to stay at home, wait for them to bring it to the house when the hub was only 10 minutes down the road. I was like, I can't do it then, because otherwise it's going to go on the truck, and there's just so many complications that can happen between getting to the hub and getting on the truck to go out for delivery.
Definitely.
I just like to cut as many of those out as possible,
That makes sense.
But that's why I don't think I could do it as a business, because I'd be shooting myself in the foot too much with things like that.
Yeah, it's hard. So tell me about your CD pass. No, just kidding. No, do you have any little funny, quirky things that people don't know about?
I feel like I should maybe keep a couple, because I put a lot of stuff out. Sometimes, and Hillary will say this too. She's like, you can't just there's got to be some kind of mystery to you somewhere. You can't just put everything out there, Brian. She tells me this. And I go, yeah, you got a point, but it's like, if you get more specific, maybe. I mean, no, there's not many things that I hide that I have hidden these days. I share my holy underwear on Facebook. I walk out of the
I miss
bathroom
that.
on Instagram stories. There's not a whole lot that's hidden about me anymore. Used to be a lot. I think that's the problem. I'm overcompensating for my childhood of being very secretive and withdrawn, and I'm like overcompensating for that time now, and everything is out.
So, I know that some of your heritage is of a Polynesian background. Were you
11%,
living,
to be exact.
or well, when you were living in Hawaii, was it with family or around family?
No, I moved out there with the band. I made a lot of Hanai family out there, the closest blood I have out there really is Hillary's cousin lives out there. But other than that, it's all Hanai family. My friend Malia was just visiting actually.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, so she's like my sister from out there. She's basically the kid's godmother, sort of she is. And,
so, do you know Jason Momoa? Just kidding.
Not.
You're like, only a little bit. We just brunch.
Not personally. I did do a little bit of extra work out there. I got to be on set with Cheech Marin.
Ooh.
Pretty cool because he was the same person in person that he is on like all the Cheech and Chong videos. It's really funny.
That's
like,
good and bad.
He's not acting.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Like people are like, oh, he's a cinematic genius. Like, yeah, but he's also just Cheech. I've got a little nosy Rosie here. So this is somebody that we adopted a couple of years ago. So she was named, what was she named? Kira, yes. But then she quickly became known as Little Mouse. And so she's good to have around because she bosses my Mastiff everywhere. And
it's funny how little dogs do that to big dogs.
Yeah, she has a brother. So we adopted these two little dogs, and so she bosses him around and everyone else too. So we try to put the dogs in videos once in a while in case somebody's, I don't know, so they can be on the inner circle. I don't know, people just like to see, I guess, I don't know, the other side of what we do. People have asked me to vlog, please vlog. What kind of toothpaste do you use? What do you, how long does it take you to drive to work? And
there you go.
Yeah.
Really, that's just there. I can tell you something. I've not shared this on a video before. I don't think.
Oh, let's hear it.
I use a powder toothpaste. It's like
is it charcoal? Whoops.
No, it's not charcoal. That's. I'm glad somebody else does it too. That was like one of my signature moves on a live stream. I'd like drop my camera almost.
Well, there we go. There we go. Well, now that person was me.
Yeah, powdered toothpaste. That's a little. I don't think a lot of people use powdered toothpaste, or maybe more. A lot of people do use powdered toothpaste. I don't know.
So, is it baking soda? Is it charcoal? Is it something else?
Baking soda based. Powder. It's odd. I've been doing it for a long time though, so it's not odd anymore. The weird thing about it is that you have to get the toothbrush wet first, because if you put it on and then wet the toothbrush, it all goes away. So you got to get the toothbrush wet first, and then put. Oh, here's another one. I do the same thing with my cereal that I do with my toothpaste. Because you got to get the brush wet first, and you put the powder on. With my cereal, I pour milk in the bowl. Well, I don't eat.
And
cereal
then baking soda.
No, baking soda. I pour the milk in the bowl, and then just enough cereal to eat until I can eat it while it's still crunchy, because I don't like soggy cereal. And so you
and I were, I don't know, cut from the same cloth. Soggy cereal should be a crime. So here's my strategy. It's not as innovative as yours. Splash of milk. That's it. Just to go bloop. And then if somebody goes bloop bloop bloop, forget it. I don't want it.
No, see, I still like a nice full thing of milk in there. That's how I do it though. I put the milk in first, and I just put as much cereal that I can eat it while it's still crunchy, and then I get full spoonfuls of milk with it, and it's crunchy.
You're a genius. Is everyone getting this? This is how to make the cereal crunch. That's what I'm going to rename this episode. Brian reveals.
I've been doing
how to make
this
the cereal crunch.
A very young child.
Wow. This is Little Mouse's brother. You can tell that his dad was definitely the mailman because both dogs that lived in that yard were Chihuahuas. So yeah, he's the mailman's kid, or the dude that ran the taco wagon or whatever.
That's funny.
Yeah.
It reminds me of this joke. I probably shouldn't tell because I'm horrible at joke delivery. Like I don't
tell it. Another secret revealed. Brian's terrible at jokes. Let's hear the joke. Now you
if anybody's ever called me on the phone and gotten my voicemail, which is highly likely if you called my phone, I've got the same voicemail that I recorded from the first day that I got a cell phone.
Oh yeah.
It's the same voicemail. It's the same phone number, same voicemail message, which is I was kind of I wasn't ready for it. I was going to and said, "Oh, record your voice message." It was like, and I was so blown away with the fact that I had a cell phone because I never thought I would have a cell phone ever.
Right.
And so I was like, "Oh, I don't have a cell phone. It's just a joke. So leave me a joke." And that's it. I've gotten hundreds, thousands of jokes over the years because I've had that phone for almost 20 years now, and so many jokes. I just suck at delivering them. But okay, so that
lay one on us.
Okay. No, because I already gave up the punchline. Can't do it.
Oh.
I'm not doing it. I can't tell jokes, so I shouldn't. People that can't tell jokes shouldn't tell jokes.
Oh, so Joe, can you tell jokes? No, he's terrible at them.
I can create funny moments on camera and video, but that's.
I've seen some of those. Pretty good.
I like to make myself laugh. That's mainly why I do it. And if other people can laugh with me, that's just like win-win.
Even better.
Oh yeah, way better.
Well, we've done a couple blooper videos, and I hated them. And people just, they love to see people do dumb stuff. And obviously we're live, so they're watching me do it over and over.
That's one thing that I try to do with editing that I'm trying to do more and more with when I'm editing is to leave stuff in that I would maybe instinctually edit out. Be like, oh, I don't want people to see that. And then be like, actually, I'll just put that in. Since that's what I would edit out, I'll just put that in. Like for example, like yelling at my kids. That's not something I'm proud of doing.
Right.
It happens, and sometimes on video, and so I'll cut it out. But sometimes I'll put it in. Like actually, on this next Monday's vlog, I did a lot of chastising of children, and it's all going in the video.
You know what? That was one thing I was really ashamed of that made it in a video. I yelled at someone to shut up, and it just was like
it's not a nice word. My mother would tell you that's not.
It's not. And I don't use it a lot, but it was like the 17th time that somebody had like ruined the shot. And I was just like, shut up! And of course, cameras rolling, and people thought it was really funny. And I'm just like, I'm so ashamed.
It's real life, people like to see real stuff they can relate to. And if you cut that all out, then there's nothing left to relate to. Yeah,
it's true. It really is true. And I don't claim to be perfect, obviously. Very far from it.
Nobody should.
So, yeah.
And it's those imperfections.
Mm-hmm.
Like the inability to speak proper English sentence without questioning yourself on the words.
Right.
That make us the people that we are. And if you cut all those out, then you're just a shell. It basically might as well be a vase sitting on a table for people to look at.
Ooh, I like
Put
that.
Flowers in.
Speaking of which, I love that you say good morning, sunshine, and at the end that you say take care of yourself and each other.
Oh, I haven't done good morning, sunshine for a long time. I had it on a mug, and my mom calls me Sunshine.
Aww.
And she had to give me a mug that says good morning, sunshine. I used to use that in the first vlogs, and I would use that, and we'd sip it, and I'd show the little, good morning, sunshine. And I said it. Now I say top of the morning because, I don't know, I said it one time, and I was like, oh, yeah, I like that. I've got 2% Irish, so I'm falling back on that part.
There we go.
The top of the morning thing. But yeah, take care of yourself. The funny thing is, last night I had a small epiphany about that. It's like, because I've always believed that if you're going to be taking care of anybody else, the first thing you got to do is take care of yourself. You can't possibly know how to take care of other people unless you learn how to take care of yourself first. Mm-hmm. And I'm still learning that. So that message is not just there for other people. That message is there for myself as well. It's for me to see every time. To take care of yourself. It's a reminder for myself every time I do a video to do that. and to remind myself that I do need to take care of myself. Otherwise, all of this is pointless because, yeah. So it's a reminder for myself as well.
And that's hard as a parent and as someone who works for themselves, because it's just hard, you know. It really is hard, especially when you have little ones that don't give you a break. I mean, little kids are amazing. You know, they're so much fun and they're adorable and they bring a lot of richness to your life, but sometimes you're just tired or you're just not feeling well or whatever. And so it's good to remember that. And I'm glad that you do also listen, take your own advice. So just curious where you kind of adopted a lot of these kind of like Zen attitudes. I love that your videos always either have just a positive, a literal positive message where you're actually basically, I saw the video about the haters and I was really curious about that one because I like how my dog just looks like a giant weird mushroom, like a fungus growing out of me. This is the most awkward dog ever. Anyway, that was off task. I saw the fungus and just got sidetracked. Sorry, Sergio.
Fungus can do that to you.
Yeah, fungus can do that to you. Oh, yeah. So even if you don't say something specifically positive, I feel like you are a very positive and uplifting person. And so I was just curious how you kind of came to adopt sort of that Zen attitude, because, you know, I have to tell you, most people don't have it. And it's you know, something that we should all aspire to be more positive and to be more proactive.
Maybe if you had grown up, a lot of people I hung around with were pretty negative people. And I think that maybe helped form some of that. Is like, you know, all that stuff all the time is like went the opposite way, just like that's no way to live life. And then I like to be happy. I enjoy I enjoy feeling good about everything that's happening either with me or with other people around me. And so I project that onto other things, maybe like, you know, I could take it either way. You cannot find me a person that I could not take something and find the bad things about that person and highlight those things. I could do that with anybody, myself, anybody out there. I can do that. And people seem to do that, and it drives me crazy because if you do the opposite of that and focus on the good things, then everything gets better and the things are good. And it's just kind of the way it breeds itself. I don't know. I don't like to feel bad. It happens. I'm not finding a very good answer to your question right now. How I adopted it.
No, definitely. Makes sense.
Just I like to focus on the good things in life, you know, and even when it's not good, find something good in it, because it always is something. This is something probably a lot of people know that watch me. I've been to prison before, and even in there, I was able to take on a positive attitude and enjoy my time. I had lots of laughs. If there's one place, if you ever want to challenge yourself as a human and how you can take your life and your perspective on life, and find yourself, that place will test you.
Yeah, I can't imagine I would fail that test because, wow, that's really inspirational.
It's and luckily I wasn't there long, but it was long enough to. It was a good thing. I always look back on it as a good thing because it gave me that perspective of, this is a potential reality. This is a reality. Like, people are living this reality, and it's not the best reality out there. It's a pretty harsh reality. But if you can take that and wake up and still smile and still find something to do, then you're doing pretty good, because then you become stronger as a person. Nothing can get in your way at that point. If that's the thing, you see some things that always really inspired me, like in movies, you see people are trying to break this person down, doing everything they can to break this person, and they're just resilient through all of it. I really, those moments inspire me in movies when I see that, even though it's just all acting, and but still, you know, it's good acting, and you see people, the strength of the human spirit, the strength of the spirit, the possibilities of the things you can overcome no matter what gets thrown at you. I just really like stuff like that. And so I aspire to be like that myself. And I'm only human, and I let it gets to me sometimes. You know, even just today, I was reading a comment on YouTube, and I specifically asked for people's opinions. Like, give me your opinion. You know, if you liked or hated this video, thank you. But there was still a comment that got to me still, and I was just like, God, why is that getting to me? I try to adopt the thing of like after the first couple of days of the video being up, then stop reading the comments, because that's when people start to come, like trolls start to come in and whatnot. Usually after the first couple of days, or even after the first day. But yeah, sometimes comments still get to me. I shouldn't let it, but sometimes they do. And for the most part, I try to just remain neutral on it. But yeah, I don't know. Am I positive? Sure. Yeah, I'm the most positive person you're ever going to meet. No, I don't know.
Well, I think you're pretty amazing.
I like to have a good time. If I'm not having a good time, I'm wasting my time. And I don't want to waste my time.
Well, that's awesome. I mean, I think that's the way everybody should live. And some people kind of can turn anything sour, you know, whatever good fortune they have or whatever blessings they have. And, you know, it's a shame.
I appreciate that, to be honest. I appreciate it because it gives me perspective. It's another thing to give me perspective. It's another thing for me to look at and be like, this is a perspective. And it helps me give a little more perspective to myself. Like, at least I don't have it like that. Like when I'm looking at everything and everything sucks, because that would suck.
Right.
Yeah. But it does serve a purpose in my life too, to see that kind of thing and attitude. It gives me contrast for my own life and other people's lives that I care about and want to be part of my life, because they're also like-minded people that are, you know, looking to have a good time with whatever they're doing and not drag other people down while they're doing it.
Oh, awesome. Wow. Interesting. I feel like I need to think about that for a minute. That might bore people though. Like, so interesting. Yeah. Let's see. I had something I was going to ask you right after that, and I'm just thinking about positivity. It's awesome. Oh,
don't think about it too hard. It does attract the negative.
Okay, so I would consider your channel very successful, maybe even more successful than mine. Because if you're hearing crazy Yoda in the back, that's dogs wrestling.
Nice.
So you probably don't, but anyone out there, if you do, no harm is coming to any animal. That's actually sounds of joyous victory. Yeah. So what tips would you give to someone who is considering or who has started a channel? What I was going to say was how I define your success is, number one, I just think you're amazing and you've published a lot, so that's successful. But also, your videos, even though I have more subscribers than you do, I've been publishing longer. Your videos get more activity right off the bat than mine do, and that tells me that you'll probably outgrow me before too long. Obviously, you're doing things well. What tips would you give to somebody who's considering starting or who has started a YouTube channel and they kind of are looking to grow?
The two main tips would be to enjoy what you're doing and do it because you're enjoying doing it. It's easy to say that, and it's easy to think you're going to do that. It's another thing to put into practice. I'm still practicing enjoying what I'm doing, you know, and finding the balance between working on it, because it is hard work to make the type of video that I enjoy. You know, when I put a lot of hard work into something, I enjoy it more. So it is work, but it's work that I enjoy. And when the outcome's there and I get excited about it, I'm sitting there, I watch it back, and I laugh, and I'm like, yes, this is good. Oh, that shot right there. Like, you got to enjoy it. If you don't enjoy it, you're not going to be successful, period. In my opinion. That's where my greatest success is for that.
People can read that energy.
Is that I like it. I'm having fun doing it, and I have a blast making it happen. That's where I measure my success at, is how much fun am I having doing this right now. The more fun I'm having, the more I'm laughing, the more I'm watching the shot back, being like, that's it. That's my success right there. That doesn't, even if nobody ever sees it. But the second tip, other than making sure you're enjoying what you're doing, if you're going to be doing videos and making videos for people to watch, is to be consistent. Something I failed at one point, but I haven't failed at in a while now. I've been staying pretty consistent. I get channels since we started the Freedom Breeder channel. We've not missed a week. Every Thursday at 6:00 p.m. there is a video, with the exception of that live video giveaway we did 12 hours earlier on the Thursday. But every Thursday at 6 p.m. a Freedom Breeder video comes out, 6 p.m. on the dot. There it is, like clockwork. Same thing with the vlogs. Every Monday at 6:15, every Friday at 6:15 a.m. a vlog comes out. Triple B TV always comes out on Wednesday, even if it's a little late sometimes. Recently, it hasn't been late at all, but still, even when I got, was having trouble getting the edit finished for whatever reason, I still got it out there on Wednesday. And the reason for that is if you watch anything that's had success, a TV show that people like to watch, something that somebody watches, video that people consume, it's always got a set time, a set day. Like when you watch The Simpsons or whatever TV show, if you have a TV show you watched on TV, not that I haven't watched TV in years, but when you did, there's a time you knew it was coming out, at least a day. This is coming out. You can expect it to be coming out, and that helps to go forward. So consistency is one of the number one tips.
Totally agree.
And it's one that's a lot of people have not followed. Like people ask me that. I talk to a lot of people every day, and people ask, "Oh, what's a good tip here?" Be consistent, and then like you really want to do it, you got to be consistent. And then I see some people like, "Oh, not take that."
From the words of the mastermind, published on a schedule. One of my students asked me. Yeah,
that's tip number 2. Number 1 is have fun.
Yeah. One of my students asked me, so we'll edit and then schedule a publish for like 6 a.m. or whatever time. And one of my students asked me, they didn't think it was really me on my channel. They thought it was like an actress, like a me double or something. Because he knows I go to work by like 7 o'clock in the morning, and he knows that I'm not in my room filming at that time. And he was like, is that you? It was funny. We had a whole conversation, and he was like, I know it's not you because I know you're here. And
people are going to trip out when I introduce my twin brother.
Do you really have a twin brother?
Oh man, I guess we'll
find
out, won't we?
Oh, the suspense builds. That is so funny.
I see a question here. Hector Rodriguez he is asking if I've ever been to New Mexico, and I have been to New Mexico.
Oh.
New Mexico was actually the first place I ever traveled to by myself.
What?
When I was 12 years old, Mom put me on a plane. I went to go visit some friends out there.
Interesting.
I haven't been back since.
You loved it that much?
I did love it. I just haven't been back. I went to I was 12 though too, and I haven't known anybody out there. Well, I know people out there now.
Yes,
yeah.
Of course you do.
And my friend Kim is out there too. Her family's been out there for like 5 generations.
Oh wow!
And it's a beautiful place. I mean, we went to like all the little spots. We went to like the petrified forest and the like the giant meteor crater, and I might be mixing up Arizona some of these because I flew to New Mexico.
I was like, petrified forest.
That might all be Arizona. Maybe all the cool stuff we saw was in Arizona.
We have cool stuff.
Bandelier. There was like these old Native American caves up in the hills that we went to.
Yeah.
That was pretty sweet. Yeah, that was awesome.
Interesting. So, what would you say is the best and worst thing about being a professional YouTube creator?
Best and worst?
Mm-hmm.
The best thing is getting to share videos with people and watch people get enjoyment out of the videos and have people be touched on a personal level by videos. Mm-hmm. Getting that feedback from people that are like, man, the people that get such a good feeling from the videos, that are like, oh man, I wake up in the morning and then it just sets me in the right mood for the day. So that's great, because that's a byproduct. I just do it because I'm having fun with it. But the fact that somebody else can take it and enjoy it and make it brighten their day, that's fantastic. And just all the connections with people. I've got places to stay in virtually every state and places to stay all over the world at this point now because of YouTube. So that connection with people is the best part about it. And on the flip side, it's the connection with people. It's the worst thing about YouTube. When you get those assholes that come in and just feel like they need to, give you their horrible 2 cents. It's the worst part. I don't like it, but it's part of it and I accept it, but I still don't like it.
So, what percentage of your feedback would you say is negative? Either kind of objectively,
less than
like,
1%.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, what tips would you give to YouTubers who, like I said, are planning to start or kind of their channel's a little bit young or it's not taken off yet, to not to the people who are criticizing you, like basically saying, oh, I'd use a different substrate or whatever, but just the straight up troll haters who are going to make comments about your race or your intelligence or the fact that your kids are around snakes or something equally ignorant. What tips would you give to people?
Just do your best to let it roll off your shoulders. You know, that stuff like that. Try not to take it personally, because it's not personal. It's more of a reflection of the person commenting's character than your own most of the time. You know, I'd also like to say that it is important, I think, to look at all comments if you can in a way that, and try and grow from them. Use them all as constructive criticism as much as possible. Even if somebody's being downright hateful, just maybe not criticism, but use that as an example of like, oh, that sucks. That person feels they need to be that way, you know, and try and appreciate that you're not that person. and but growing a little bit of a thick skin, because it can be. I've had some years now to grow my skin a little bit thicker from comments like that, you know, but sometimes they still do get to you. But just learning to let it roll off your shoulders it just takes practice, you know. Don't reply to it unless you can do it with a sense of humor. I had one guy that I don't want to get too vulgar on here, but he said I just kind of played with it. Like, he asked me, oh man, it was so funny though. No, it wasn't that vulgar. Okay.
All right, spill it.
I'm not gonna use it. It was oh man, this is a while ago. It was what kind of, oh, never mind. I'm not gonna, basically, without having man parts. He was describing me not having man parts. I don't know what kind of audience you have on here. If I usually try to keep it PG for kids and stuff, but
yeah,
something about a dickless sausage chomper, something like that. But I just asked this question. I just asked with like dead serious, just like, wait, which one? I was like feigning confusion over what he was trying to say. Like, wait, does that mean that I'm dickless while eating the sausage, or the sausage that I'm eating doesn't have one? I just asked that question. Then he didn't reply. But I was like, damn it, I kind of wanted to know which one it was.
That is funny.
Yeah, just to take it lightly, to take stuff like that lightly if you can, as much as possible, because it can be something that will deter you from wanting to put content out there when you have that stuff coming at you. But you know, just take it lightly. Just realize it's just somebody behind a keyboard that's maybe a little lonely, maybe having a bad day, and it's not as big a deal. And likely, if you saw that person in person, none of that would have ever taken place.
Right. That's interesting. So I'm wondering, there are people who basically say that the internet and technology are destroying the human race. Obviously, it's a very important part of your livelihood. Obviously, also, there are pros and cons to everything. What do you think about what YouTube and or social media is doing to the exotic animal community?
I mean, definitely bringing more people together, you know, more open communication. I wasn't part of the exotic animal community for much long. YouTube was my intro into the exotic animal community. I kept pet snakes as a kid. I was not part of the community. I had no idea about a community. So I didn't even know the existence of one. So I couldn't really say how it's affecting it, because it's bringing more attention to it. It's making more of a community. People that didn't know each other, didn't know other people existed, are coming together, which is a big positive, I would say.
Definitely.
For the most part, you know, I think there's definitely moments when you need to unplug and sit back in reality. You know, it's been a while now, but I'd go on trips and I'd, you know, have my phone off for a couple of weeks on a trip and just completely unplug from that type of life and being, you know, connected, disconnect and reconnect at the same time with some of the things that were before, you know, like the days when I was like, there's a cell phone. I'll never have a cell phone. Those days, you know, when you had to meet your friend at the place you said you're going to meet him, because you can't just text him, say you're not coming. You got to be there.
Right.
Otherwise, I'm not going to trust you to meet you again because you weren't there.
Right.
You know what I mean? None of this last minute cancellation stuff. I'm making it more broad than just exotic animal, because I can't answer the exotic animal, how it affected that. I can say how it's affecting society as a whole, but not necessarily the exotic animal community, because that was my introduction into the exotic animal community, was YouTube.
Awesome. So what do you enjoy or like to do outside of animals? And obviously you have an amazing family. So other than spending time with your wife and kids and taking care of animals, what else do you like to do?
Music, play music, and travel, and explore everything. I like to. I've been listening to a podcast recently. It's probably one of the more popular podcasts out there. Is the Joe Rogan podcast. He has on very interesting people, and he's also a fairly well-rounded person himself, being an MMA fighter and a stand-up comedian, and also seems to likes to learn a lot. He's constantly learning new things, and I like to do the same thing too. Is learn about things I don't know about. Whatever little thing that piques my interest, I'll go dive into it more. Like this thing with the ketogenesis diet, I've learned all the science behind it and learning more about that. And then I'm actually about to sign up for some jiu-jitsu classes here in town because I've never done that before, and I'd like to try it out and just see what it's about. I like to try new things when I'm not taking care of animals, when I'm not spending time with my family, when I'm not playing music or shows. I like to see what else there is out there to experience in this world, because there's so many things out there, and I like new experiences and seeing new things and doing new things that I haven't done before. And it's very broad. I'll try to, if somebody's got an idea, it's very rare that somebody will have an idea like, hey, I was thinking about doing this, but I'll be like, if it's something I've done before, I'm more likely to be like, I've done that. If it's something I haven't done, I'll be like, oh, okay, yeah, let's go do that. Even if it's something simple. If I haven't done it before, I'd like to give it a try within a little bit of reason.
So, are there any invertebrates that you enjoy?
Millipedes are really cool. I like how slow they move and how many legs they have and how it's very, very snake-like type of thing going on. And then I was doing an interview with a guy that does Doobie Deli. And holding some of the I'd never really held cockroaches before in that type of way.
Right.
I think cockroaches crawled on me before, like in Hawaii, or like those B-52 bombers. We like to call them, fly across the room and like come at your face. It's like, ah!
Oh wow!
But holding the cockroach, they're so interesting. Like, they look like aliens. They're like, that's like, I think what they based the movie Alien off of is like insects and stuff, and they're so interesting. The cockroaches, and just the fact that they can survive, or that they have survived things. They've survived mass extinctions, and they're still here, like just cockroaching around. Those are pretty cool.
Cockroaching, that's a new verb. I'm gonna start using that.
It's synonymous with survival, with surviving.
Cockroaching around
equals surviving for millions and millions of years. That's what cockroaching is.
Interesting. Very interesting. What would you say to someone who is looking to make a living becoming a YouTube creator?
I'd say find something more stable.
Good advice.
YouTube is not stable at all. I'm lucky. I'm working with a company where it's like more like marketing type stuff. It's I don't pay my bills with YouTube generated revenue. I don't get a check from Google that covers my bills. I get a small check from Google for ad stuff, but even people that I know that are big creators, month to month, it's volatile. 1 month you could be doing great, especially if you're one of those kids that has a really big channel that's like millions of views on stuff, and you're getting all this money. It could be gone like that. There's no stability in it. So if you're looking to use YouTube as a career, revenue from YouTube as a career, I would say maybe not. That's why I say the number one thing for starting a channel is do it for fun.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that.
Because whether you make money out of it or not, you're going to be having fun, and that's a win, and that's success. So.
Awesome. You're so awesome.
I have my moments.
Let's see. I think you're pretty great. So I really like that you do the videos where you unbox like random stuff that people send you. I think it's random. They just kind of like surprise you with stuff.
For the most part, like some people say, hey, I want to send you this. Like, where can I send it? Or I want to send you something. Where can I send it? There's actually a couple things in my. I know there's a couple things in the PO box right now. People are like, have you gotten this yet? So I need to go to the PO box and grab it. I know if I sent somebody something, if somebody I was watching on YouTube and I sent them something, I'd love to see it get opened on a video. That's why
true.
I do it. Yeah.
I think that's the reason I get so many breeding loans. Because people will be like, oh, I've got this blah, 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 mature male, Grandma stole poker piece or whatever. I'm like, yeah, cool, I need it, and then we split the offspring. But as soon as they send it, they'll be like, so, are you going to say my name? And I do, because people do enjoy that. And so I try to always mention them anytime I use their animal. Of course I do, and say, oh, this is so-and-so, and they're so cool. And, they sent it to me. And some people have just gifted me animals on, not often, but here and there. And, basically because they're confident in my ability to care for it. And also, too, just because they like the channel and basically want to be featured in it, which I think is neat.
I've turned down a lot of animals. I've had a lot of offers for animals. People giving away animals and stuff. Just if I feel like I'm close to max capacity anyway. Oh no, yeah. I've got lots of empty enclosures actually, to be fair, but that's for future breeding stuff. Like half of these things are empty. Over half of these are empty actually. Wow. Anything that doesn't have a card on it. I'm gonna try and turn this without ruining everything.
Oh, okay.
See if we can get this up here, and like anything that doesn't have a card on it, there's nothing in there. So
yeah, you definitely have a little bit of room to grow. That's awesome.
Yeah, and I want to keep that. I want to have space to grow. I don't want to ever be at like max capacity. I don't know why I said it was at max capacity. I don't want to be at max capacity ever. And going forward, there's a lot of things I'd like to do as far as enclosures. I'd really like to start getting into some more naturalistic stuff, and also and just have bigger enclosures. I've got a goal. This room, I'm gonna grow this room fairly soon, and I'd like to have bigger enclosures and more decorative, just for my own personal enjoyment. I think it would be fun.
Yeah, definitely. Well, tell us a little bit about your Patreon, when you started it, what it's about, and how people can support you there.
I started it last year, and it was another Hartle idea. So Garrett, I don't know if you guys know Garrett Hartle, Reach Out Reptiles, really good dude. You gotta interview Garrett. Okay. Garrett is one of the most knowledgeable dudes out there, whether it comes to breeding animals and business stuff and marketing. So he told me I should maybe do that, and I looked into what it was. I was like, yeah, okay, sure, why not? I'll do it. It's just a spot. Like the people that are on there, they are obviously very supportive, obviously, but it's a little closer. I do live streams with them, and we'll talk about this and that, and I'll get their opinions on a lot of stuff. Like before I put stuff out on video, sometimes I'll check in with them and see. So I figure these are the people that are really, their support is right there. They're being extremely supporting, taking their hard-earned time and money to support, what I'm trying to do. So I try to get their input as much as possible, and I make content there. I don't post every day like I should be on Patreon, but close to every day. But there's always a lot of original content that goes up there that doesn't go anywhere else.
That's awesome.
And that's the main, I guess, reward. I'd say there's other things like T-shirts and shout outs on the channel and stuff like that. That different incentives for people to be on there, but it definitely helps, having that there at times when unexpected things happen. Like my snake that I've got at UC Davis right now, going to appointments there is right. That's taking a pretty hard hit from that, but I have to, because I can't just not. The animals we need to get him taken care of. And
so how's that retic doing, by the way?
He's doing good in Riley's care. Not done yet. Still haven't got the official diagnosis back from the biopsy or the blood work. They've gotten the preliminary stuff, and they called me about that a couple of days ago, and they said they'd be calling me next week with the official results of the biopsy as far as where we're moving forward. Right now, it's looking like it's a salivary gland issue. This whole time we had thought it was the
like the tear duct or something.
Yeah, the tear duct. I'm trying to think of the allodactyl. I can't remember what the official name is for that. It's not tear duct. Yeah. Olodactyl. I can't. I'm horrible with scientific words, except for the couple that I know. But they're looking like it might be a salivary gland that's having the issue. Like they pulled some stones out of his lip, and so it's looking like, and it's a possibility to remove that because there's actually two of them that they said if it is something that can be removed without too much issue. So that might be, but they're getting the results back from the testing first before we move forward with anything other than
interesting.
The antibiotics he's on now. And I'm super fortunate to have my buddy Riley up there because that's a long drive to be going back and forth for a vet appointment, and then also just for Junior himself, taking that car ride 6 hours each way as a snake that's not doing 100%.
Definitely. Well, I know is it later or earlier there? What time is it for you?
It's a little bit earlier, but we've gone on this has been a pretty good, decent time. I mean, it's not like the longest podcast or stream I've seen, but if you've reached the end of your questions, you've reached the end of your questions. And that's what we're at.
Well, I have more to ask, but I'm trying to think of the most important things. I hate to ask this, but who do you consider your mentors in the hobby?
I mean, I try to find mentors.
Obviously, yeah, there's a bunch. So just name a few people. Yeah.
There is a lot.
Just think out loud.
Gundy, Barczyk, Kaufman, Brandon Fowler was just here. He's there's a lot. Those are people that I've maintained contact with often and get advice from. I'd say Brian is Brian can answer a lot of questions for me that a lot of other people can't, because he's in the zone that a lot of other people aren't, and like questions I have about that type of stuff that he does, because he's into so many things that you would not believe the amount of different avenues that guy is working on. It's crazy. I don't know how one person can do that even without young kids. But Garrett too, my buddy Garrett, who I mentioned, who you should interview. He's been a great mentor for me. He's like the opposite of mentorship. When I'm not calling him for advice, he calls me with advice.
Oh wow! I definitely want to make friends with him.
But more often, 90% of the time, he calls me and says, "Hey, here's what I think about this, and what I think how could help you, and what you could do." And he's always got the ideas. He says he always comes up with them in the shower too. It's funny things. I was in the shower.
That's my thinking place too. I may tell you that one day, and it just means good idea.
But on a broader term of mentors, I like to try and learn from everybody I can. And I do. Like, I learn a little bit from every person I talk to, even if they're coming to me with a question, I learn something from that person.
Oh, yeah.
I think, as you know, probably, I think the greatest teachers are the ones that are learning themselves along the way. So
definitely,
the teachers themselves are learning. The best teachers are learning as they're teaching. So yeah, but those are the first. I thought out loud for you there.
Thank you.
I was trying to think if I want to make sure I'm not leaving anybody out that I talk to on a regular basis for stuff. But no, that's mostly it. Those are the guys I'm. Jesse too is a good mentor. I'll ask Jesse about a lot of stuff when it comes to ball python stuff. He's definitely given me a lot of pointers, especially because he's got the knowledge from his father about different things. Like different things that you might do, weird partnerships or deals within the hobby, and how to treat them, how to go about doing them, or just not do them at all. He's definitely steered me clear on a couple of things. Like, I'd recommend not even entertaining doing that at all, and I'll take that advice usually.
Interesting. Yeah, I have nothing but respect for Lindy. I'd love to speak to him one day. I've emailed him a couple of times, but I know that the company's kind of been in transition and that they're extremely busy.
Especially right now. I was just there yesterday, and it was crazy busy. There's lots of things going on.
Well, that's awesome, and I applaud them. They Obviously, Lindy pioneered the snake rack, the rodent rack, which I have all those things. Not that I have every rack he's ever built, but it's really funny if you go through my room. I have like some of their old racks, some of their new racks, and we had one little issue with one of the mouse racks where the stopper had come off the back, and we were like breaking drill bits trying to screw it back together. And Jesse was like, "Oh yeah, I use a titanium, drill bit," and so we're gonna actually work on that. And I'm gonna send him a tarantula
Yeah,
in
he mentioned
thanks
that.
for. Yeah, so he actually volunteered to. I think he said he was gonna have you do a video or be in a video or something with the tarantula, but I
Okay.
know he's in. He headed to Tinley, I think.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I'm headed to Tinley too. I'm flying with them to Tinley. So
Are you? Okay, I
yeah.
thought he left this morning, but yeah,
No,
so
we'll even no, that'd be way too early.
I was wondering about that. But yeah, that'll be fun to see all that stuff going on. Well, thank you so much for spending time with me and opening
Yeah,
up,
thanks for
and
having me.
yeah, you're awesome, and I enjoy your content, and I'm sure that people are going to love all this too.
Hopefully it
So
just
you
gets
guys,
better and better.
yes, always for both of us. But so I hope you guys have a safe trip and that nothing catastrophic happens and that you just have a blast.
I hope for the same thing.
So lots of people are commenting hi, saying where they're from. Somebody's from Cincinnati, Southern California, Redstrom Reptiles. Oh, out of Albuquerque. That's oh, Hector Rodriguez said he's out of Albuquerque. So people are digging the live. Well, give your family a hug for me. Your babies are beautiful. Hillary's beautiful. I think you guys are amazing.
Thank you.
Keep drinking that golden milk.
I will.
And yeah, safe travels for you and Jesse and anybody else who's going with you guys.
Thanks, sis. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I'll talk to you soon. Be safe.
Yes, ma'am.
Bye.